Okay, now look at, we're still at Iguazu Falls. We did the first segment up about my higher. I'm right down by the falls, so I'm going to have to really yell so that you can hear me. The sun's about ready to set, so we wanted to get this shot of this is the Brazilian part of the falls. This is the Brazilian. Over there is the Argentinian. Just amazing amount of water. 3 kilometers, that's 2 miles of falls. The longest, widest falls in the world. Considered one of the great wonders of the world, physical wonders. And we're talking about this book, which is not one of the great wonders of the world, because we want to ask the question, is this book, is it relevant for the 21st century? Is it relevant for you and me? Is it relevant for here or anywhere? And the answer we're getting is categorically no. We've been specifically looking at women's issues. And we want to now continue on. We've done with chapter 4, verse 3, where a man can have up to 4 wives. Verse 11, which says that a boy gets twice the inheritance of his sister. Verse 24, which says that a man can have as many concubines above and beyond the 4 wives. Verse 34, which says a man can beat his wife if she disobeys him. Now we get to chapter 2, in verse 282, which talks about the fact that in court, the woman's testimony is half of that of a man. That shows that there's not only inequality in marriage, inequality in death, inequality before the law, as far as I'm concerned. There is a very well-known tradition that says that when Aisha heard this, she asked her, Muhammad, why is it that women get half the testimony? And his response was, because women are less intelligent and more disobedient. Now, women, I don't know how that makes you feel. But less intelligent, not today. Maybe in the 7th century when they were not educated. But today, girls in standardized tests outperform men. More than that, on my team, I know, when I left London, the people that I had to leave my ministry with were women. 5 women. I couldn't find any men that could do as well as they could do. They are not less intelligent. I'm speaking from personal experience. Then we go to Surah 2, Ayah 223. This is one of the most difficult ones. I'm going to read it. It's, if you have your Quran, chapter 2, verses 2 to 3, which talks about the tilth for a man. That means that a man says here, your wives. So it's a man's wives, it says, are your tilth for you. So go to your tilth when or how you will. You till the ground. So when you go and tilt your wife, basically that's saying you can take her sexually at any time. This is what we know as marital rape. There's no other word, there's no other definition to give it. And here you have in chapter 2, verse 2 to 3, a reference allowing a man to basically have control over his wife's body. Can you see why this is difficult? And I understand for Muslims to defend this. This is your Quran. And this is your book that you're telling me is relevant for today. That is not relevant. We do not go raping our wives. We do not have control over their bodies. 1 Corinthians 7 is very clear that a woman's body is equal to a man's body. That we are not permitted to dominate our women like that. I love 525, where it's so clear that we are to respect our wives like Christ respected the church, and that we are to love our wives like Christ loved the church. That Christ was willing to die for his wife, so should we be willing to die for our wives. Thank God we've got that as a corrective to Surah 2, Ayah 2 to 3. And that's why it's important that we look and ask these questions. These are not easy questions to ask. It's not easy for you Muslims to hear us ask these kind of material. But we've got to do it because this is the book that Muslims are claiming that is relevant for every man, everywhere, anywhere, at any time. As you can see, when you just look at Surah 2, Ayah 282, when you look at Surah 2, Ayah 223, these are not relevant for today. They're not relevant for any day. They are not relevant for here. They're not relevant for anywhere. Folks, come back to the Bible. Come back to our gospel of Jesus Christ. Because that's relevant for everywhere at any time with anyone, anywhere. God bless you. Amongst this beautiful falls, you can see the Brazilian falls over here. And over on this side, you can see the far falls of Argentina. as the sun is setting here in Brazil. Good to be with you. God bless you. This is Jay. Over and out.